Yeah, this movie's getting good, ain't it? I want to first and foremost start off by giving all honor, all praise, and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arachak, Wadash. Double wonders to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Now, if you've been paying attention, this guy DJ Trump, aka Nero, he proposed to throw 104% tariffs on China imports, and maybe they thought China was just gonna cave in and try to be more diplomatic and bow down to these measures, but all China did was countermeasure those tariffs. They slapped 104% tariffs on Chinese imports. They said, fuck you. We're going to slap 84% tariffs on your imports. All right. Now, this is going to affect the markets on both sides. But see, the thing is, China still have trade alliances. So they'll, do well. Now, America is making everybody a damn enemy to where nobody wants to do business with America under Trump. So that's going to actually hurt the consumers. This is going to affect the markets in a very major way. You're going to have a lot of industries that depend on Chinese imports and exports. They're going to lose a lot of clientele, consumers. It's going to be a delay, high level inflation. So the prices are going to increase on the goods. A lot of people, a lot of businesses and jobs being basically shut down. This is definitely going to have a major effect, especially if it's prolonged. So yeah, your man DJ Trump, man, he handling biz. All right, this shit is getting very, very interesting by the minute. All right, but let's watch this little video right here. So even these women are panicking. You got a lot of people that are panic buying at the stores. They stocking up on goods, items. And you got a lot of idiots. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't even know what's actually made in China. So they just run into the store and just stocking up whatever at this point. But it's funny to watch it happen in real time. All right, the Lord did say that he was going to cut off the mirth in this place. And that's what you're going to start to see. All right, it's not going to be too fun anymore. Okay? When you got to, budget. When you got to watch your pockets every second to see, if what you have is sufficient enough to take care of yourself and your family. It's not going to be so sweet then. So I'm going to watch this little clip right here. This is on TikTok. And this was hours before it was done. I think it was supposed to set in effect at midnight. All right. So it's 5:24 Pacific time right now in the morning. So we're going to see, how this all unfolds. But a lot of people, they panicked right now. So let's watch this.
Brace yourselves, my friends. In just a few hours, those massive 104% tariffs on China are taking effect. That is going to impact so much of your budget and your wallet, it's hard to even quantify. The White House confirmed it's all going down at midnight tonight, and the president is not backing down. Guess what? China is also not backing down, and just wait till you hear what they had to say about all this. Now, before I tell you all about that, let's look at the stock market today. Earlier in the day today, the Dow was up like 1,000 points. Those gains came on the news that President Trump had been open to negotiating on his tariffs and that the White House was working with some countries to reduce those so-called kind reciprocal tariffs that take effect on tons of countries at midnight tonight. The White House claims at least 50 countries have called to make a deal. But the fact is, so far, no deals have actually been done. Nothing has been announced. And by the end of the trading day today, when investors started to realize that all these tariffs the president outlined last week would actually take effect at midnight, the market plummeted. And here's the real problem. The only trade deal that really matters right now is the one with China. Why? Because China is being hit with the highest tariffs, 104%, and because China is one of the United States' top 3 trading partners.
And that's key. You know, China is one of the major markets that the U.S., has been trading with, for quite some time. All right, you look into your Targets, your Walmarts, all these different stores. A lot of their goods are imported from China. Your beauty salons or your beauty supply with all those extensions and weaves and hair products. Yeah, guess where that's manufactured at? So Eve out there, I'm surprised y'all not out there panic buying at the beauty supply. Normally under these conditions, it would be like a stampede because the prices are going to be ridiculous. Y'all have to go back to wearing your natural hair, which you, according to the curse, you really ain't got it. Isaiah the 3rd chapter, man. And y'all might have to go back to rocking y'all froze, you know what I mean, or put it in a bun or something. Or you can actually cover your head, put some head wraps. Maybe this is going to force you to get in order. Talking about you proud ass N-dubs out there, But anyway, this is the effect that it's going to have on the markets and on the economy. So yeah, man. Your smartphones, your computers, your HD screen TVs, your leather. Jake like to boast about the leather attire that they got or leather interior in their vehicles. Some of this furniture made in China. So yeah, it's finna get real. And we're gonna start to see a shift, and everything is moving in a different direction. And we all know the ultimate goal here. The end game for all of this is the transition into the MOTB system. This is all MOTB bound. All right, to collapse this current global market and the current global economic infrastructure, and to bring in the new one. Okay, that's all what this is about. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. So let's continue.
Fact is, China has no desire to cave, no desire to negotiate, and no desire to play President Trump's game. Don't take it from me, take it from them. Yesterday, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson said, China is not a seeker of trouble, but make no mistake, when challenged, we will never back down. Intimidation and threats never work with China. Another one, if the United States disregards the interests of both nations and the international community by persisting with tariff wars and trade wars, China will have no choice but to fight to the end. Speaking of international communities, look what else the Chinese embassy to the United States posted today. Whoop, who's that? That's the Chinese premier with the commissioner of the European Union. Trump hit the EU with 20% tariffs. So China said in this post from today that China is ready to work with the European side to promote the sound and steady development of China-EU relations. So
You know it's bad when, you cause allies and enemies to actually come together. You're unifying everybody outside of Babylon. That's that's very telling. All this protectionism and unilateralism is further causing these other nations to unify with each other against your measures. So, that's a tell-all sign, for Babylon. Obadiah 1 and 2. I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. See? So, yeah, it's all happening. So let's listen to a little more of this, because she's breaking down what's happening on the political side as a result of this tariff war. And then I'm giving you scenarios of how things are going to go with the economic impact that this is going to cause. All right. The ripple effects in these entire measures is going to make most people, because we already been dealing with inflation and things that haven't gotten any easier. We haven't seen any relief. All right. The prices on everything is still up. People still already been struggling as is. This is why you're seeing more and more people complain on social media about their living conditions. Women talking about it's getting too hard. I need a husband. I need a man. I can't do this on my own anymore. I can't afford this. The cost of this is crazy. So Trump, he's doing an impeccable job. And it's forcing a lot of you women who've been living at ease and comfortable. And this is when, you being in your arrogance, looking down on the men, and men didn't hit their face from you now. So now you feeling that pressure. Now now you want to, come back to the table. Not a good look, man. Rise you up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters, man. Many days and years shall you be troubled. And right now you finna deal with economic, financial trouble, financial woe. Matter of fact, let me grab a quick pre. This is Ecclesiastes 7, verse 14. I'm going to get it in an NLT. Because now you're finna deal with hardship. You ain't never had to face nothing because you was comfortable. Well, this is what the scriptures say. Ecclesiastes 7 and 14, it says, enjoy prosperity while you can. But when hard times strike, realize that both come from the Most High. Remember that nothing is certain in this life. And people tend to be proud when they're prosperous. But it all goes out the window when hardship strikes. All right. Like it says in Sirach 11 and was that 25? In the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. But in the day of affliction, there's a forgetfulness of prosperity. Like you women start humbling down under these new conditions when you start to feel it. Don't think that men didn't forget your attitude and your arrogancy. All them videos are still on the internet. Don't start to become fake humble now. That shit is starting to get hard and you realizing what's happening. And we've been telling you, the prophet's been out there warning the people. There's been a lot of economic whistleblowers that have been warning the people. And America is still heavy into debt. Trillions. So this is only going to make matters worse for Babylon. And what did the Lord say? We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Take balm for her pain. Anyway, let's finish.
Does that matter? Because if the United States is running around slapping tariffs at all these countries that have goods to trade, it opens up this big wide lane for China to swoop in and say, hey, you don't have to trade with the United States. You can improve your trading with us. We have a huge market for you. And I think since the EU is a particular...
Yeah, and they're in competition for who can be the biggest manufacturing hub. And I remember Dave Chappelle, he had made a joke years ago, and one of his specials where he was alluding to them bringing Chinese jobs to America. Like, man, who the hell want to work the Chinese jobs? Like, yeah, I want to. What did he say? Like, man, I want to wear some Nikes, but I ain't trying to make them. You know, like instead of just making purchases and buying the products, you got to be in the damn factory, manufacturing them, putting your ass to work in the facility, in the factory, in the warehouse. The Americans would have to basically join the sweatshop. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Chinese, they put out an AI video mocking U.S. citizens in a damn sweatshop. Yep. Matter of fact, that's the spirit. Now, I know I saw this in my news feed. It says China mocks Trump's tariffs with AI video of U.S. sweatshop workers make America great again. Yeah, and that, I mean, in the globalist elite, they want to make sure they can milk the people dry. Have you all working and not owning a damn thing. You will own nothing and you will be happy being a slave. With a certain population just being overworked while the rest of the population starve out, and then you got AI taking over all these different key industries, replacing people's jobs, the job market. So it's evident to see what the powers that be want for the world. And they doing all this for their own interests, not for the people at all. So that's why you're going to see more protests, more uproar worldwide. All right. Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous own authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. They're showing you right now they do not care about the citizens. They don't care about the consumers. They don't care about these businesses that depend on these markets. They're just in competition. And Trump, he wants manufacturing to really come back to Babylon, which, I mean, on the surface, on the outside looking in, that would seem to be plausible, reasonable, but knowing the conditions that the people are already in, why would you shoot yourself in the foot to try to make things better? So I wonder if this is the video here. Let me see. Let me see real quick. Wow. And you can just imagine because you looking at the look on the people's faces, man. They look like they're exhausted, they're tired, they don't want to be there. Everybody is overweight because what happens when you work at these kind of jobs where you're incendiary. You just sitting down for hours and hours out of the day, so no activity. You ordering Uber Eats, takeout. So that food is just piling up in your flesh. So everybody's just fat and obese, which you definitely have that issue in America. America, that's one of the plagues. All right, everybody's bloated, overweight, obese. Just horrible overall horrible health conditions here in America, man. So everybody's fat, bloated, tired, and they sitting down sweating in these sweatshops, in these factories. All right. And if it ends up like this, then hey, the scriptures do say, I will give you over to a cruel Lord. Let me see. Is that Isaiah 19? It's a lot. Damn it. That's what I hate when you leave TikTok. What happens? All right, so let me get that Isaiah 19 and verse was it 4? And this is in the NLT, and it says, you know what? I can probably start at 2. Isaiah 19 and 2, it says, I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian. So it's going to be a lot of infighting, a lot of people coming against each other, which, these politicians and elites, they expect, these conditions. They expect for people to start, fighting against each other because a lot of blame is going to happen, people are going to think, oh, well, we got traitors in our country. Anybody else, you got the Democrats, they're openly supporting incitement to resistance. I think Obama came out not too long ago, and he was giving words that encourage incitement. All right, so you can see the division within the country, and this is only these conditions are only gonna exacerbate the heightened tension even more. So you can see people, fighting with each other. All right. It says brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor. And with everybody being exhausted, agitated, restless, people are not going to be so friendly. And you already have, the love of many waxing cold. People murdering each other left and right over nothing. It's a city against city, province against province. You're going to see the sedition among men and invading one another, like it says in 2 Ezra 15. This is what happens during the economic meltdown of a society. The implosion of an empire. Okay. It says the Egyptians will lose heart, meaning they will become demoralized. They will stop, believing in the system. They will become pessimistic, and which is the opposite of optimistic, and will confuse their plans. They will plead with their idols for wisdom instead of listen to the prophets, right? And call on spirits, mediums, and those who consult the spirits of the dead. Basically witchcraft. I will hand Egypt over to a hard, cruel master. A fierce king will rule them, says the Lord of heaven's armies. You know, and if it has to go to this, then yeah, it's gonna be different. You women complaining now, and this right here, China, this is a facetious joke. They're making a joke. This is in mockery, but if this is prolonged, this is what can easily happen, especially if China, all right, is standing on their 10 toes. And you know, if Trump is really trying to compete with China's manufacturing industry by going back to, you know, America being the trading manufacturing hub, that's going to take a lot of slavery, a lot of labor. All right. And you women, you talk about how, you know, you don't want to get into a marriage with a man because that's basically slavery. You know, that you being oppressed, you being controlled. Well, your daddy Trump, when it's all said and done, he's going to do just what you think, right? And that's these feminist talking points to poison the minds of these women to not have to, get with a husband. They don't want to be ruled over by a man. Well, you're gonna have to get in some kind of order, because Trump, he's gonna pimp you out. He gonna make you more tired and exhausted. He gonna make it to where you you ain't got no money, no extra money to spend, because you women like to overconsume. You do all the spending. So, yeah, man, this is interesting, man, and this coincides right along with that joke from Dave Chappelle. I think this is it right here.
Like, he doesn't think these things through before he tells us. He just tells us what he's thinking as soon as it occurs to him. This shit sounds nuts. I'm gonna go to China and I'm gonna get those jobs from China and bring them back here to America. For what? So iPhones can be $9,000? Leave that job in China where it belongs. None of us want to work that hard. I want to wear Nikes. I don't want to make them. What the fuck are you doing? Stop trying to give us Chinese jobs. I am going to bring back coal. Coal? I'm not even exaggerating. I have never in my life even seen a lump of coal. I honestly don't even know what coal is for. Like, he doesn't think.
So it's funny, you know, it all goes from a joke to potentially being your reality. All right. Now let me get this real quick, and I believe this is also in Ecclesiastes. Was it Ecclesiastes? Is it 8? There might be a 10. Hold up. Yep. Ecclesiastes 10 in verse 5, and it says, "There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler." And like it says in Sirach, the 10th chapter, an unwise king destroyeth his people. You know, if you don't have your citizens in best interests and in good condition, you know, you're just gonna flat out destroy them. But it's clear to see that Trump, he's getting his orders from the elites, the powers that be, that's over him. They're controlling this guy. because this is how they're going to go about the transition. He's going to get the ball rolling. He's going to get it, rolling fast. He knew that the people in the beginning would go for him because, Biden did what he did, and they just alley-ooping with each other. They just passed the baton to one another, but you think that they're in opposition of one another. No, they got to basically destroy this current system in order to usher in the new. So this is what's going down, man, and it's all the effects, the symptoms of it all is the travail, the birth pains, the contractions. All right, affliction, uncomfortability, disorder. And so that's what's all going to come down the pike next, man. And that would be crazy seeing women in a damn sweatshop, doing exactly what the Chinese do, where they all these things that you're consuming and purchasing for expensive prices, they're making for cents on an hour. Imagine that happening here in Babylon. So think about it, man. We're definitely in interesting times, man. Okay. And we're gonna keep looking at the stock markets. Just look at the debt. Just look at everything. This is all gonna usher in the MOTB. So we're gonna stay up on our watch and see what's next. But hey, stay prayed up and stay in the fight. And with that, I'm gonna give all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Shalom.